Hi all. So today's topic JWT, full form of which is JSON Web Token. So many of you would have seen JWT token when you have worked with Python, Flask API, Fast API during authorization part. Okay, but do you actually know what JWT token is? How that does what does it do actually? How is it securely transmits information from client to server? Okay, so we will understand that, okay, in this session. Okay, a bit about myself. I am a senior developer in an MNC. Also, alongside, I am working as a part-time PhD researcher in responsible AI under Manipal University. Okay, so JWT or JSON Web Token. So let's break it down into three parts. Okay, so JSON. So what does JSON signifies in this? So JSON signifies the payload, the data it carries. It is that is in JSON notation, which is curly brackets, key value pair separated by commas. Okay, now this is a compact lightweight data or information storage format, and though its name has JavaScript to object notation, it is language independent. Okay, now web. Now this was designed for secure communication between web applications. Okay, that's where web parts come in. Token, as you would have seen, is a string encrypted, and in JWT token is URL safe, means certain characters which are not allowed in browser that are allowed in browser. So it is URL safe. So some characters like space, and we will see other characters are not allowed in browser that are converted into allowed formats. Okay, and accepted. Okay, now let's go to the website. Now this is the jwt.io is the website, and this is the sample token. Now you would say how it is secure. So anyone can decode it. Okay, this is encrypted format, but it is decoded by anyone here. Okay, okay, but the security comes from the part that it cannot be modified. Okay, suppose you have an application. Okay, and this actually have three parts. So it has three parts that is separated by dots. Okay, header, dot payload, dot signature. The signature is what is important here, and it what makes it secure. Okay, so going back to, okay, here, so this first part is header. It has information, some basic information like what type of token, what kind of type of algorithm it has been encrypted with. So HS256 and RS256 are two algorithms that are widely used. Okay, and this has the payload, the data that you want to pass. Okay, so if you have used it, you would have seen कि you pass information in it but not secrets. Okay, you would never pass database credential, redis credential, or any LLM credential in it. Why? Because it is openly can be decrypted. Okay, but and this is the signature. The signature is used to encrypt it. So anyone can encrypt it, but if you change it, then it will not be a valid token, so you cannot modify it. So how is that helpful? um, Suppose you have application, microservice application, and you have enabled single sign-on. So one application creates a token, say using OAuth or key clock token. Okay, that application signs into other application using that token. Then but then if the token is modified, that authorization will be invalid. Okay, so that's where this security part comes in. So you cannot modify the token because of the signature part. The signature, only the person, anyone can decrypt it, but only the person who has the key can actually encrypt the your information into correct format. Okay, and that then further that is used by your application if it's authenticated. Okay, so key actually that is passed is used to for validation. Okay, so okay, this is a unique token generated. Okay, that can be only generated using that secret key that you have. Okay, so if you go to in this website to introduction, this here you will see a document. So let us see what does it says. JSON web token is an open source standard, a standard RFC 7519 that defines a compact and self-contained way for securely transmitting information between parties as a JSON object. This information can be verified and trusted because it is digitally signed using a signature. JWTs can be signed using a secret with the HMAC algorithm or public slash private key pair using RSA or ECDSA. Okay, so this is the basic gist of it. Let's go a bit deeper on it. Okay, so this will be the agenda of the meeting. So we will see what is JWT, its origin. Okay, unpack it, header to signature in detail. Then in practice, how to use command line tools. Then if time permits, we will see fast API implementation and what are the ways to hack, and what are the standard practices to avoid hacking of your tokens. Okay, and we will close with summary and insights. Okay, now let us now uh, JOSA. Okay, JOSA working group, JSON object signing and encryption working group. So this group was created, okay, for creating JWT standards, okay, to standardize mechanism for integrity protection, signatures, MAC encryption, and formats for key and algorithm identifiers to ensure interoperability of secure services for protocols using JSON. Okay, so this was a group that was um, had a task of designing protocols for JWT, and not only JWT, there are other protocols. Okay, we will see a brief on what other protocols are. So this is the other JWS, JWE, JWK, JWA, JWT protocols. Okay, so all these RFCs were on the standard track, and no errata means no modification or changes have been done. Corrections or modification or date has not been done since 2016. So they are quite stable and as a standard. So secure standard has been adopted for a long time. Okay, now, so we will go a bit deep on it. So as you have seen the definition, now what is signature, what is MAC, what is encryption here? Let us see in detail. Okay, now let's break down these concepts of signature, MAC, and encryption and understand them better. Okay, okay, so what is a signature? So it is a way to prove who sent a message and that it hasn't been changed. Okay, so suppose you send a letter to one of your friends, okay, and you sign it at the end. Okay, but suppose someone modifies that message and send you other duplicate or some other information and sign it okay, with his own signature. But then if you recognize the signature of your friend, then you will see it, okay, this is not the letter sent by my friend. Okay, so I cannot trust this information. So in tech terms, a digital signature is like that handwritten signature, but for digital messages it uses cryptographic keys to prove that the sender's identity. Like an intended sender, or which is has access to the application or secured um, client has sent this request. Okay, and signature ensure that digital signature by way of comparison ensures that the message has not been tampered with. Okay, now next let us see Mac. So let us see a visual diagram of it. So you see this. There is a letter signature. If someone modifies signature, you will know that this is not sent by authorized person. Okay. Now, what is MAC? MAC is actually message authentication code, a way to check that message hasn't been altered and came from someone who knows a shared secret. In technical terms, a MAC is a short piece of information like checksum. Okay, using signature, you can it is created using a secret key, and the receiver uses the same key to verify the MAC and confirm. Okay, so it is sort of a way to check using signature that your token created using your secret key is correct token, so authenticating it. Okay, so in everyday analogy, it is like you say, if you see, just see this video. So you see it is like a secret handshake between two friends. If someone else tries to fake it, they will get it wrong. Only those who know the handshake, that is the shared secret, can prove they are legit. Okay. Yeah. Now third aspect was encryption. Encryption is simply like a key. Okay. Who, like, you have a secret message logged in a box, whoever has a key, he can only open that lock and read your encrypted token using that key. Okay, so that is encryption. Okay, so in summary, the goal of the um, JOSA, JSON object signing and encryption group, was for integrity protection, making sure data hasn't been changed. Okay, this is done using signature or MAC, message authentication code, encryption, making it encrypted. Okay, standardizing the key and formats. Okay, so universally it can be used at same way. Okay, now moving ahead. Also, we use the term called RFC. Okay, RFC actually stands for request for comments. Okay, so it is basically a public document describing technical rules, methods, or ideas about how the internet works. RFCs set the standards for internet protocols and cyber security practices. Okay, as we have seen earlier, this is a JW token. While this looks gibberish, it actually is a very compact printable representation of a series of claims along with a signature to verify its authenticity. Okay, so this is header, this is your payload or data, and this is your signature. Okay, now what does a claim mean? Okay, so if you go to their documentation, you see here. Okay, you see this part here, this is a header. Okay, and it is making a claim that this JWT token is using algorithm HS256. Its type is JWT. Okay, similarly, payload is making a claim that subject, some ID, name is John Doe, admin is true. Okay, these are the claims that this token and payload part is making. Okay, now some of the uh, these claims are mandatory, should be present in the JWT token, and some are optional. Okay, and some are standard defined by the Jose organization, and some could be customer defined. Okay, so if you see here, like algorithm ALG, the only mandatory claim for unencrypted. So this is the only mandatory thing for the JWT header. Okay, ALG algorithm, because based on that it will use the signature to verify your JWT token authenticity. Okay, so it was like it is from intended client. Okay, okay, another like type, these are optional things. Okay, you can ignore them. Okay, for information purpose you can add them. So what problem does JWT solve? Simply, describing a standard for secure communication between two parties. Okay, so they have for authorization, authentication, federated identity, stateless sessions, and client side secrets. Okay, so so one more thing, now here comes one more thing, stateless. Okay, what does stateless or stateful mean? If you have heard this term. Okay, stateful. Now you would have created APIs, REST APIs or Flask or Fast API. Those are stateless. Why? Because the state, you call, suppose you call get API, the response or status of this API is not going to affect the next request. Okay, so it is stateless, so it doesn't maintain any state. So all the requests are independent. Okay, it is not like that one request is going to be dependent on other requests. So that is called stateless application, so it's not maintaining state. Okay, now why it is important? JWT makes it possible for apps, APIs, and services to trust each other. Okay, client server or applications can trust each other, avoid redundant lookups or server side storage. You don't have to store secrets and your database. So okay, you can use that token itself, okay, without storing the secrets for authentication. Okay, you can scale securely across distributed system. So if you have microservice architecture, you can have single sign-on. Same token can be used for authentication by all the application. Okay, so in short, it simplifies secure identity and access exchange in modern web architecture. Okay, so this we have already seen. Okay, this is header section. Okay, example of header section. You can have more claims there. Okay, this is not fixed. Okay, payload also you can add as number of whatever relevant information you want. Okay, generate roles, username. Okay, time of expiry are few of the key value pairs or claims, as you say. Okay, so this is the architecture. So this is in the JWT token you see is in, this is in base 64 format. Okay, encoded in base 64 format. Okay, so there is a private key. Signing algorithm uses your information. So let us understand this diagram, and after that we will actually create a JWT token. Okay, so now as you are aware, it is base 64 encoded. Okay, now this is your header. Okay, it has information about your algorithm HS256 RS256. Okay, now this is base 64 encoded, and you can find online base 64 encode and do online also. Okay, encode and decode base 64 thing. Okay, maybe I will show you that also. Okay, this is your payload. and it has can have any number of more keys like roles, users, key value pairs. Okay, anything. Okay, anything can be in the payload. Okay, now this is also base 64 encoded. Then this is combined header plus payload. Then your signing algorithm, which is HS256 here, uses the secret key that is in a secure location, okay, to be kept secret. Then using this, it generates a signature, okay, and that signature is base 64 encoded, and at the end this is added. So there is only particular combination of your header, payload, and secret key that will generate a unique signature key, okay. That is how you verify. So if you change any other information here, okay, suppose someone attacks and um, admin is false and you change this to 2, the signature is going to be changed, okay. Signature will not match, okay, and that is going to tell you that it is not from intended user. So let's see this in action, okay, and create using command line.